Fox 40 News at 10 starts now.
Tonight on Fox 40, surveying the damage. Governor Jerry Brown alongside Senators Dianne Feinstein and Kamala Harris tour the devastation caused by Northern California's deadly wildfires.
We're not out of the woods yet.
Search teams and cadaver dogs now sift through the rubble as the death toll rises and hundreds more are still missing.
It's very surreal at this point. You look at the house and you can't, it doesn't register.
And survivors struggle to process how much has been destroyed. And the death toll now stands at 40 tonight. These fires now among the deadliest in state history. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Allie Wolf. Joe Khalil has the night off. Now here's a look at where those fires are burning tonight. A few of them have become one massive fire. The Nuns, Adobe, Norbum, and Partridge fires have merged, now scorching tens of thousands of acres. The Nuns fire is only 15% contained. And we're going to start, though, with the Tubbs fire. This one 50% contained, but today strong winds fan the flames, creating a new threat. Fox 40's Doug Johnson is live in Sonoma County tonight. Good evening, Doug. What are you seeing?
Well, Allie, this is the Tubbs fire burning behind me. You can see firefighters keeping a very close eye on it. It is reaching the road here, but they are getting ready with hoses just in case it gets out of control. And again, while firefighters are getting a handle on this fire, the Nuns fire is still raging tonight. Fire crews worked tirelessly digging lines Saturday, attempting to save this home now covered in retardant.
Right now the retardant line is holding here.
This arm of the Tubbs fire reaching down towards the St. Francis Winery on Highway 12 in Kenwood. It's terrain firefighters say they actually like.
Vineyards are typically in a flat area, very well irrigated and very easy for us to control the fire in.
But to fight the flames in the steep, dry hills where the Nuns fire is burning less than 10 miles away, they need air support. CAL FIRE constantly performing a balancing act of sending tankers and helicopters between the two plumes.
The battalion chief who's riding in an airplane, who's kind of directing and coordinating all air resources wherever they're most beneficial and most needed.
As the sun set, the aircraft reduced, while the winds remain. We're here at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park. You can see the winds are really fueling this fire up. And the fear that firefighters have right now is that it's pushing it towards homes down towards Kenwood. As tree after tree goes up, fire trucks are remaining close by those houses. Firefighters from all over California and beyond working late into the night to help put an end to the destruction.
San Mateo County, I've seen Rancho Santa Fe, which is down in Southern California, and even just working just north of us is a strike team from the Seattle area. And back out here live again, this is the Tubbs fire continuing to burn tonight. You can see some crews getting some hoses on it now as we speak. But firefighters tell us they don't believe that the Tubbs fire will reach Highway 12. The Nuns fire, however, that might. And that fire, the Nuns fire, is actually a combination of several fires combining. And so they're keeping a close eye on that as well. But you can see they haven't finished with the Tubbs fire. And this is the same fire that burned into Santa Rosa and it caused so much devastation. So here it is again. They're trying to prevent it from jumping this road and pushing towards more homes on Highway 12. Reporting live in Sonoma County, we're going to check in now with Sarah at the Weather Center.
Thanks, Doug. I really hope you're staying safe out there. It does not look like a good situation. And actually, CAL FIRE did confirm, you saw some of that wind in Doug's story there. CAL FIRE did confirm today that the Nuns fire and also the Oakmont fire were both fueled by those winds last night. And those fires did expand last night because of the winds. But right now, if you take a look at this map, really not much in the way of wind speeds. 0 miles per hour that you're seeing across the region. We checked in the Bay Area. Wind speeds really not that bad right now. The biggest concern, though, is overnight. The Napa Hills and the hills east of Sonoma County, really where the strongest winds are expected between midnight and sunrise. So definitely something that we have to keep our eye on. Those firefighters out there are working so hard. So really hoping the winds do cooperate. Now here's a quick look at the humidity levels. Now the northerly winds did move in and that dropped the humidity levels really all across the region earlier today. The good news is the humidity percentages are going up. So when we're above 20%, that's better. It's not as dry outside. So you can see 45% humidity in Sacramento, 41% in Fairfield. Now, another thing that also comes with these terrible fires is terrible air quality. You can take a look at this map in the Bay Area and you can see the orange, yellow, and red. None of that is good, especially the red. Red means unhealthy air quality for everyone. Here's a look a little bit closer to home. Luckily in Sacramento, the air is getting a little bit better, but you can see just in the Vacaville, Stockton, Modesto area, that yellow means moderate air quality. There definitely are some pollutants in the air. Allie, winds not going to be helping tonight. We're really hoping that the forecast stays lower winds. That's really what we're hoping for.
Definitely, Sarah. Thanks so much. And we want to stay with Sonoma County and go back to the Nuns fire. Firefighters were up against a big battle today. As Sarah was just mentioning earlier, winds were fanning the flames. Take a listen to how one deputy fire chief described the firefight earlier.
Due to the wind conditions and the type of topography and the fuels, those winds and topography are causing that fire to be very erratic, going in several different directions. The winds constantly change direction in that area.
So this fire moved north of Highway 12 today. So far, it's 15% contained and it's charred more than 47,000 acres. And since Monday, firefighters have been dropping hundreds of thousands of gallons of fire retardant. As you can see, this is what this chart shows. And it's all to help slow the spread of the deadly and destructive flames that we've been showing you. On Monday alone, more than 464,000 gallons of retardant was dropped. Then Wednesday and Thursday, you can see there, more than 500,000 gallons dropped. Fire retardant helped the firefighters on the ground who are building and strengthening those containment lines. And road closures are still in effect for parts of Napa and Sonoma counties. Route 12 from Calistoga Road to Boys Hot Spring is closed. In the city of Napa, Route 121 is shut down in both directions. Route 128 has several closures, including east of Geyserville, both directions in Lake Berryessa, and both directions on the Napa-Sonoma County line. And be sure to go to FOX40.com for more information on road closures. And authorities in Sonoma County say they are not giving up the search for hundreds of people who are still missing following these wildfires. The National Guard has been called in to help crews as they sift through the rubble. And those on the front lines say they're not going to stop until they make sure everyone is accounted for.
The timeline for finishing our search and rescue efforts, we believe, could take up to months and maybe longer. We don't anticipate keeping you out of your homes that long, but we just want to give you some type of timeline of what we're looking at.
As of now, about 220 people are not accounted for. Officials say dozens of downed cell phone towers has made communication efforts especially difficult at this time. And as we mentioned earlier, these fires collectively have become the deadliest in state history. In Sonoma County alone, 22 people have died. In Napa County, 6 people. Mendocino, 8 people died in the fires. And in Yuba County, 4 people were killed because of the flames. And unfortunately, often when we see disasters like these, we also see looters. There was a man who you see there was caught stealing from some of the victims in the fires in Sonoma County. Witnesses say they saw a suspect taking a pair of sunglasses from an abandoned car. One neighbor followed and confronted him. Police ended up catching up with him and searching him. They found not only the glasses, but also a number of other items that had been reported stolen. It was tragedy after tragedy for a Santa Rosa woman. She survived the mass shooting in Las Vegas only to come home and have her family's home destroyed by a wildfire 2 weeks later. Take a listen.
I'm probably not processing it. There's tasks that need to be done, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess fortunately. The world does keep going.
And her family's house was not under a mandatory evacuation order, but she didn't have any time to grab anything before the fire forced them out. Earlier today, Governor Jerry Brown joined Senators Dianne Feinstein and Kamala Harris for a first-hand look at the devastation. They also met with people affected by the disaster, and they talked about what needs to happen to try and fight it. Fox 40's Ken Masenchi has the story.
Governor Jerry Brown didn't mince words when discussing the fires raging throughout wine country.
This is truly one of the greatest, if not the greatest tragedy that California's ever faced.
Governor Brown, accompanied by Senators Dianne Feinstein and Kamala Harris, held a brief press conference at Santa Rosa High School this afternoon after being debriefed on what lies ahead in fighting the fires.
We're not out of the woods yet. There's still fires burning. There's still danger. People have to not come to the conclusion that they don't need to be on the alert. People need to move when they're told. They have to take it very seriously.
Brown's statements coming on the heels of more evacuation orders in the area, with many residents still unsure of their status with fires burning around them. The leaders then held a town hall with a large group of residents, urging them to keep pushing and assuring them that they will not stop their efforts to provide funding and resources, especially for those on the front lines.
The danger is still very present, and we all should be so thankful for the California firefighters who have come from all over the state, some working 80-hour shifts to do the work of ensuring that we can mitigate the damage and bring people to safety.
People in the crowd held on to every word, writing it down, filled with questions about when they can go home or how to get started in the rebuilding process. Questions organizations like FEMA tried to answer in the town hall session. But with the cheers, it was clear that having state leaders present was a step in the right direction. From Santa Rosa, Ken Masenchi, Fox 40 News.
And Governor Brown has also announced the White House has approved additional federal funding for fire victims. This round of funding will be sent to Butte, Lake, Mendocino, and Yuba counties. Similar assistance was secured for people in Napa and Sonoma counties yesterday. Anyone eligible can apply online at disasterassistance.gov. And again, those impacted by the wildfires can start to apply for funding for FEMA relief. People living in Butte, Lake, Mendocino, Napa, Sonoma, and Yuba counties can do so. What you'll need is a social security number, address of the damaged home insurance information, and your telephone number. And we're going to have information for this if you want to apply for FEMA relief. Just go to our website, fox40.com. A local brewery is pitching in to help wildfire victims. $1 from every drink sold today at Dreaming Dog Brewery in Elk Grove was set aside for the Redwood Empire Food Bank. The money will go to buying fresh produce and healthy food options for people staying in some of the local shelters. The brewery's owner says he knows food is something that people desperately need right now.
We figured if there was even the slightest thing that we can do to help raise both the consciousness of it as well as to be able to give in some tangible way, to be able to help bring some relief to these folks, we'd be happy to try and do that.
And the distributor Farm Fresh to You has also committed to match each box of food for one purchased. The brewery also has a donation jar on the counter for people who want to give a little extra. And here at Fox 40, we're aiming to help with wildfire disaster relief efforts. We've teamed up with the Salvation Army to help those affected by these devastating wildfires, and we've made it easy to contribute. Just head over to our website, fox40.com. There's a link at the top of our homepage. You can also donate to the Salvation Army Wildfire Relief Fund through our Fox 40 app. Well, one family that lost everything in the fire had a happy reunion. They thought they lost their dog, Izzy, but when they went back to their property, their spirits were lifted. Take a look at what they found.
Izzy's here. Izzy! Izzy! Izzy, come here, baby! God. Oh my God! Izzy! Oh my God! Hey, baby!
A huge relief. As you can see, the family was reunited with their dog, Izzy. Izzy managed to escape the flames somehow, and this video, it's not surprising why, it's already reached 13,000 shares on Facebook. So good to see. Coming up in flames, how fire crews were able to work quickly to put this out and what started it. And another big blow for Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced movie mogul, kicked out of one of Hollywood's elite organizations. We'll have more on the bold statement.